Okay, here's a great question from Violet Ivy 2 on the YouTube. Asks, a lot of baby boomers retired as a result of the pandemic, and the U.S. needs people in various industries, including healthcare. What do you think the best way to address this is? If only there was a way to get more people to go to work. What would we do? Well, let's take a career, nursing, plumbing. Why don't we make it free to get those degrees, or make those degrees with an ISA, and income sharing agreement, where we offer it for free, or based on taking back 1.5 times the educational cost over 10 years, over 7 years, whatever it is. Like, let's really incentivize people. Another way to get people to go back to work is to raise salaries. That's happening. Another way to get people to come back to work is to make them feel respected, to make them feel a sense of mission or purpose in their job. Not easy to do, but also not impossible. So I think labor has the advantage right now because you have a combination of things happening. Obviously, stimulus gave people more runway, and the double unemployment situation, which is ending, all of that gave people a lot of runway. People's homes increased in value. That gives people extra runway. People reevaluated their lives and said, you know what, I have enough money in the bank. I want to take the next 10 years and go skiing. No, I'm not doing that. To my team who's wondering when I'm going to just pull the ripcord. I love coming to work every day. Also could enjoy some more skiing though. Putting that aside, raise salaries, train more people. And then here's a crazy idea. Hear me out. If we have more jobs open than people willing to take them, then maybe, call me crazy, we could allow some highly skilled people into the country, since Americans don't want those jobs. We are so privileged in this company. I'm sorry, we're so privileged. It's a little Freudian said. We're so privileged in this country to have so many opportunities that people are so affluent that they can turn them down. That is something we should celebrate. America's so great. A lot of people don't need to go to work, and they're happy not going to work. They've either made enough, lowered their burn, or some combination of the two, or become micro entrepreneurs where they do projects and they make money for 3 months and then take 6 months off. Congratulations. But let's be honest here. If we got 11 million job openings and under 5% unemployment, maybe it's time for us to talk about a point-based system at the border. What does it mean? It means you just take the emotion out of and the polarization out of immigration. Immigration shouldn't be all or nothing. It shouldn't be about you're evil or you're, Mother Teresa. There's a lot of nuance here. Everybody coming into the country provides some amount of value. Some people might be a drag when they first get here and then eventually become, contributors, right? Somebody who comes here and uses social services, needs an education, they might actually be a drag for some period of time, and you're making an investment with the hope, and I think it's a reasonable one, that they will pay off in their taxes and their contribution to society later. Kind of works for all of us and our parents, right? And our grandparents who came here. I don't see why it wouldn't work in the future. But since this country is very attractive to people around the world, we might get a disproportionate amount of people who want to come here. And since a disproportionate number of people want to come here, we do need to have some limits. Why don't we tie the number of jobs that are available to the number of people that we let in? So in other words, you take the last 5 years, you have a rolling average of the last 200 weeks, 250 weeks of unemployment data. You look at it and say, what jobs are open? Okay, teachers, doctors, lawyers, construction. Okay, great. Let's take out construction. Great. Where can we get incredibly trained construction people? Great. If you're applying and you say, I've got 12 years experience in construction, I'm a plumber, I'm an electrician. Great. We need more of those. Looking back at these 4 years, we will give a preference to what we actually need in the country. Is that too cutthroat or is that logical? Because you do want to have product market fit here. You do want to have immigrant job fit. It doesn't help anybody if we add, I don't know, if we let's just suppose that we had, I don't know, too many nurses. It's not the case, but letting in 1 million nurses or 100,000 nurses and they can't find jobs, that doesn't help anybody. That hurts them because now they got to take a job that they're not satisfied with, and it hurts the entire base of nurses because maybe salaries get lowered, and that's not good either. So how about some logic? And then, they want to invest in the country? Great. So we'll hold 20% of slots for people who are willing to invest $1 million or $500,000. Yeah, they're buying their way in. Yeah, they're buying their way into great businesses so other people get jobs. That's a good thing. You want to let some people buy the front first-class seats. Those first-class seats are what make the seats in the back so cheap. That's smart. Overcharge them. If I told you we were going to put in the front of a plane, 2 private bedrooms, and they were going to cost $25,000 each to go to Italy, and that everybody who was in coach, instead of paying $800, got to pay $650. Who's not taking that deal? We're all taking that deal. Yeah, go. Below 25 large on a bedroom in the front of the cabin. Mazel tov. Great. That's what we need to do. We need to look at this and say, let's have a sorting mechanism here. Okay, this person's going to go back to their country and be murdered because of their race, religion, creed, color, whatever. Yeah, we need to keep 20% of the spots for people who are refugees, who are going to face imminent harm, death, persecution if they go back to their country, right? So people come from Cuba, or they come from Venezuela, or they come from China or Russia, and we know, hey, if they go back, they're just going to be put in a gulag and tortured and murdered or worse. Let's keep them here, we could have some sympathy. And the point-based system could also be how easily will you integrate into society? Well, what makes it easier to integrate into society? Speaking the language. A lot of other countries do this, by the way. Point-based system in the UK, point-based system in Canada, point-based system, I think, New Zealand and Australia. I'm sure of Australia. I'm pretty sure New Zealand. So the point-based system is super, I think, fair. And it changes the discussion from you're a horrible Republican who is a xenophobe, or you are a bleeding heart liberal who just wants to create chaos at the border. That's not actually what's happening in other countries. They're just saying, let's be thoughtful about it. Let's be thoughtful. If a person has a college degree and speaks English fluently, are they going to have an easier time coming to America or Canada? Oh, of course they are. Well, that's what the other countries do. That's what Canada does. If you have a degree or a master's degree or a PhD, you get points for each of those. And that gives you a greater chance of getting in. Does anybody argue with that? So anyway, that's a long-winded answer to, what do we do about the job problem? I think sensible immigration, which I just went on a tangent on, is something I've been researching because I'm an idiot. I had no idea how any of this works. And I kept asking during this whole back and forth with politicians fighting, hey, what's the actual number? And I couldn't find it in any of the stories. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post. Nobody ever mentioned how many people came in last year, how many people came in this month, how many people, got in because of H-1B versus this. They never talk about the actual numbers. I always start with the data. But these government officials are so polarized, they don't start with the data, they start with the emotion. Is that a good idea? If you're flying a plane, should you get into the cockpit and say, you know what? How am I feeling right now? Am I scared? Am I nervous? Am I angry? Am I happy? Or should you say, what's our altitude? What's our speed? Okay. How's the plane flying? Like maybe can we just look at the gauges and just make a decision to keep the plane flying, smoothly? That's what we should be doing with our government. They should be keeping the plane flying smoothly, less turbulence. All right. End of rant. Okay. SOC 2 compliance.